Shalom, 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 shalom. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach this truth. Salutations with hopeful elect scattered abroad amongst the nations that look like the nations. This is Banaya. This audio I'm playing is only for educational purpose.
Something that most average Americans supported. And that really remained the case all through the 40s, all through the 50s, FHA loans, GI Bill, VA loans. Only when people of color came to, be seen as the public face of government programs did that switch. And since that time, we've heard the rhetoric of cruelty, the rhetoric of shaming the poor, the rhetoric of a culture of poverty having trapped people and how government somehow has made them dependent. So this isn't the rhetoric of 70 years ago, but it is now.
How different is that than what we've seen in other countries? Because certainly when it comes to inequality and disparity, Thomas Piketty, lots of others have pointed out this is kind of a global issue.
If you look at the countries of Europe where some of these same phenomena are playing out, I would say the root of it is very similar. It's interesting. Go back to the 70s when Margaret Thatcher was running to be the head of state in the UK. She was not campaigning on getting rid of the NHS. She did not say we're going to get rid in Great Britain of National Health Service. Yes, the Conservative Party wanted to, make it more efficient. They wanted to do all kinds of, changes, but it was understood as something that Brits took for granted that was important and valuable. Now there is real talk there and in Germany and all throughout, Western European nations who were and Northern European nations known for, Scandinavian countries known for their social welfare programs about, maybe we should rethink this. Well, why are they doing that? I would suggest one of the reasons is that as immigrants from North Africa, as immigrants from the so-called Middle East have come into those countries, now you have these white folks who are saying, oh, wait, you mean it's not just going to be my cousin or my family or people like me. It's the same thing that's happening in the U.S. So I would suggest that some of the pushback against social welfare safety nets is there as well as here, connected to the feeling, the perception, often very inaccurate, that people of color are the ones who are taking advantage of or abusing the program.
Do you have your favorite example of cruelty? Because some of the quotes in your book are just stomach turning.
Well, as one example, and this is important to me because as you mentioned in the setup, I lived in New Orleans for 10 years. So in the wake of Katrina, like a lot of folks who had been there, I know people who've been displaced still have not been able to get back. Know people who lost friends and family. And at the time, there was a lot of rhetoric. And I think this is where I saw a lot of the cruelty ramped up because for about 48 hours, there seemed to be an outpouring of national sympathy. People were stunned. They were shocked that we would leave people behind. Now, I would argue Black New Orleanians weren't shocked at all. They had been left behind, moved around, displaced, generation in and generation out. But in the wake of that, after about 72 hours, 96 hours, a week later, all of a sudden, we saw this real turn in the mood, and conservative talk show hosts started talking about the people there as if they were parasites. Neil Bortz, a very prominent right-wing talk show host and writer, actually said that. He said they were vermin, they were leeches, they were parasites, they were toenail fungus of America, and that they, sat on their asses, he said, when the storm came and didn't want to leave because they were waiting for their welfare check. Not only was that incredibly cruel and demeaning, it was also false because at the time of Katrina, there were 132,000 households, at least in the city, only 4,500 of which received any form of cash welfare. So the percentage of people in New Orleans who were actually receiving the so-called generous benefits of the welfare state was very small, but that became the narrative. And to me, when you are bashing people who were literally, before the city had even been rebuilt, people displaced, it really takes cruelty, to a whole new level.
Author, educator, and anti-racism.
Okay, so that's that and that. I'll get some scriptures. Zechariah 11:5. Okay, 11:5. Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Psalm 55. 55 and 21. I forgot that one. 2nd Ezra 6 and 27 actually. Second Ezra 6 and 27. For the evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. 7 and 41. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end, where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherefore corruption is past. 2 Peter 2 and 12. But these as natural brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. We give our praises to Yahweh Ba'asham Yoshai Ba'ashem Rakadash. Shalom to the hopeful net.